Okay, so continuing to yesterday's topic. So today we'll see the architecture of SAP. How does SAP work in the background? Okay, so we have two types of architecture here. So the architecture is slightly different when it comes to ECC versus HANA systems. So what is ECC? What is HANA means? HANA is nothing but an upgraded version of SAP. Okay, so ECC is an older version of SAP. HANA is the current or upgraded version of SAP. Okay, so more or less the functionality of both the systems remains the same. But see, as you know it, whenever you upgrade your mobile phone or whenever you upgrade a Windows upgrade or a Linux upgrade or an OS update, you will get some additional features with it, correct? Whenever you do any upgrades, iOS, Android, whatever it is. So similar to that in SAP also, when they have upgraded the system from ECC to HANA system, they made some changes. They added some new features. They made existing things better. They fixed existing bugs. That's it. Okay, that's the only catch here between ECC to HANA systems. Okay, so we'll see in depth details about ECC versus HANA and all in the coming classes. Okay, for now, first let's understand the architecture. Okay, what happens in the background in ECC versus HANA system. So first of all, this is ECC, wherein we will have three layers. Okay, so this is called as a three-tier architecture, tier 3 architecture or an R3 architecture. Okay, three-tier architecture. Three-tier because we have three layers here, right? Presentation layer, application layer, database layer. These are the three layers. See, first of all, presentation layer. So presentation layer means nothing but screen. Okay. So if I am able to see something on the screen in SAP, that is a presentation layer. Okay. So presentation layer purpose is to give an input and see the output. Simple. Okay. To give a command and see the output, see the result. That is presentation layer. Nothing but screen that you see. Okay. Your laptop screen, your desktop screen is called presentation layer. Then application layer. So okay. So all the logic, all the code that you write in SAP is processed on top of application layer. Okay. So all the logical processing, so it's called logical processing, happens on top of your application layer. Then finally, database layer. So it's nothing but a database. So database is a place which is used to store your information, your company's information. Okay, so database is like a memory unit, a storage unit, which is used to store the data of an organization. Okay, so it is like a memory card or a pen drive, but on a very larger scale. Okay, so we measure the storage capacity in gigabytes, GBs, 32 GB, 1 TB, etc., right? But whereas your database is on a very larger scale. Okay, that's the only difference. It's just a storage unit. Database is nothing but a storage place which is used to store your data. Okay, now how are these three integrated? Whenever I'm passing any command to SAP, how does it exactly work? Okay, so from presentation layer, let's say I gave a command. Okay, so my command is uh, get me the sales order of a customer. Okay, some customer ordered some product from my company. Now I want to see how many products did this customer order in past 1 year. I want to see this information. Okay, so I'll pass the command from the presentation layer. Okay, because presentation layer is nothing but screen. From screen, I'll pass my input data, my command. Then that command will be processed in the application layer. Okay, so whatever I'm passing, it will see and it will hit the database to fetch the data from the database, because ideally the data is stored in database only. So by passing whatever input data I am giving in the application layer, that input data will be processed and a command will be sent to the database layer to pull the data from past 1 year. Then after the data is extracted, it is sent to the application layer. Okay, first for post processing. Okay, or post extraction logic. After extracting the data, if there is any logic, that logic will be executed again on application layer. Done. After doing that, the final output will be sent to the presentation layer, right? So presentation layer, input starts in presentation layer, output ends in presentation layer. So it begins, the complete cycle begins and ends at presentation layer only. Okay. Okay. And in ECC system, we should make sure that we do not put more load on database. That means we should not try to extract a large amount of data, or we should not write complicated logics while extracting the data to avoid the load on database. Okay, we should not put load on database. Why and all I'll tell you in the next slide. Okay, next topic I'll tell you why we should not put it and all. Okay, but this is how the ECC architecture works, tier 3 architecture. Now getting into HANA. Okay, see, the tier 3 architecture remains the same in HANA system also. Presentation layer, application layer, database layer. These three will remain the same. But the primary difference comes in the processing. Okay, presentation layer, there is no change. It is still used to give the input and see the output. Whereas you can put more load on database in HANA systems. Okay, in S4 systems, HANA is called as S4 system. Okay, S4 HANA, we call it as S4 HANA. Okay, on S4 systems, you can put more load on database. It can handle more load, and we can write minimal processing with minimal logic on application layer. So the difference, primary difference between ECC and HANA is, in ECC, all the processing happens on the application layer, whereas in your HANA system, we can push that processing on top of database. Okay, that logical processing which used to happen in ECC system will now happen on database layer. Okay, so you can put more load on database than ECC. That is the only difference. Everything else is same. Okay, the background of HANA and all we'll talk about when we get into HANA core concepts. Okay, so this is a primary difference. So any doubt in this, anyone? Okay, I take it as no. Done. Now, what are the differences between ECC versus S4 systems or HANA systems? Okay, first of all, see, ECC uses normal databases, which are third-party databases. Generally, these are SQL and Oracle. Okay, only these two, mostly most of the projects will use these two databases, SQL or Oracle. Whereas in S4 systems, SAP uses in-house database, which is HANA system. So HANA system or HANA database is created by SAP themselves. Okay, HANA database is created by SAP themselves. Whereas in ECC, SQL and Oracle are third-party databases. Some Oracle company has created their database, SQL has created their own database, right? But when it comes to S4 systems, it is HANA database created by SAP themselves. Okay, and HANA uses RAM, random access memory process, in order to have a faster processing. Okay, so in some of the new mobile phones, you are getting an option to convert your RAM to storage, right? There will be an option in Android phone especially. So you can convert your RAM into memory also, ROM into memory also. Okay, this is that. Okay, so here RAM is used to store your data, not completely ROM. Even RAM is used to store your data, because of which it is faster when it comes to processing. Okay, then in ECC system, it uses row store table concept, whereas in S4 systems, it uses column store table concept. Okay, so row store table concept means whenever you want to extract any data from the database, okay, the search will happen in a linear manner, left to right. Okay, like this, it will try to search in left to right direction. It will try to search starting from left to right. It will search. Okay, like this, horizontal manner. In column store concept, the search will happen in vertical manner, like this, top down. Okay, that is the difference between row store and column store. When to use row store, when to use column store, I'll tell you when we create a table. Okay, we will create a database table also. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow we'll create that. When we create the data custom database table, I'll show you that how to, when to choose this, when to choose that. Then in ECC system, we have slower processing or extraction power, right? Because of two reasons. It uses third-party database and it is row store table concept. Because of these two reasons, the extraction power is slow in ECC. Whereas in HANA system, it will have higher extraction power because of in-house database, which is HANA database and column store concept. And in ECC, we have different categories of tables. We have cluster tables, we have pooled tables. These kind of tables we have in ECC system. Whereas in HANA system, all those categories are removed or replaced with only one category. Okay, that is called transparent. We'll get into that when we get into second chapter, DDIC, data dictionary. Okay, so in ECC we have transparent tables, cluster tables, and pooled tables. Three type of tables. Whereas in HANA we will only have one table, transparent tables. All the remaining tables are replaced with this one single category. Okay, and in ECC by default every table is a row store table. Okay, every table. Whereas in HANA system or S4 systems, by defaultly it is column store, but SAP gives us an option, gives us the flexibility to change it to a row store. Okay, so by default it will be row store, column store. Every table is column store, but you can change it. If you want to change it, you can make it row store also. That flexibility is given. Okay, that is S4 system. Any doubt in this slide? Okay, let me see the chat. Okay, don't have anything in chat also. Fine. Then, what is a client and what is a server? Okay, server you know already. It's a general terminology we use. We use that server is slow, server is down, etc., etc. No? So server is nothing but a channel or a medium through which you can connect to SAP system. Okay, if you want to connect to an SAP system, there has to be a server. There has to be one channel in between. That is nothing but a server. Then what is a client? Okay, let me show you server first. Say example, this is my server now. Let me close this off. Okay, see, this here is my server. This is my server name. You will also get it, don't worry. Once your registration is complete, you will get your server details. Okay, so here by using to this server I'm connecting. This is called IP address of a server. So by using this address, I'm connecting to it. You will have a different user ID and a different password. You will get it once your registration is complete. Okay, see now this is my server. Okay, see this is my normal desktop. This is my Windows desktop. This is my server desktop, server PC. Okay, this is a server. To connect it to SAP system, we have to connect to a server. That is a server. Then next, client. Okay, so client is used to divide one single SAP system into multiple parts. Okay, one SAP system can be divided into different parts by using this client. Now why should I use this client? Okay, see, imagine one scenario wherein yours is a global client and your client does the business across the world in different continents. They do their business. So in few countries they are very particular about data security. Example, in European countries and in Brazil, Latin countries, they are very strict. The government policies are very strict in those countries. So the data security matters more in these countries than rest of the countries across the world. So when this kind of situation comes in, when you have to secure your data, you have to make sure that the data or the data that is available or that is only or the business or the financial transactions that are happening in Europe should not be accessed by the client who is sitting in US. Okay, your company is same. Take Cadbury only for example, since we have taken Cadbury previously. So take Cadbury only for example. Cadbury is doing their business in US and Europe, both the countries. So if they are doing the business in Europe, then the people, the users sitting in US should not be able to see the data of European users. European data they should not see, because Europe government will not allow it because of their data security policies. Now in this case, because I am having different uh, I have to because I have to restrict my data. I don't need to create different systems, correct? Because user ID is same. With one user ID, if I'm logging into the SAP system, then I can easily access across the globe any data, correct? But instead, if I create a client, if I divide my one single SAP system with different clients, in that case, the people who are sitting in US will have a different client. The people sitting in UK will have a separate client. So the client, the people, the users from US cannot access the data of UK. Okay, let me show you in system. See, the minute you try to log into SAP, the first screen, this is a logon page of SAP. Okay, wherein I have to give my user ID and password. See here, client, it says 100. So currently the client that I'll log in into is 100. So similar to this, people can create one more client, 110, 120, 130. This client can be any number between 001 till 999. 001 till 999. This can be any number. Every project will have a different number. It's not necessary that since here it is 100, every project will have 100. Not necessary at all. Some people will have 110, 200, 300, any number, any random number they can pick. Their wish. It's company's wish, client's wish. Okay. So this one single SAP system can be divided into multiple parts by using this client. So if I am able to log in into 100 client, that doesn't mean I can log in into other clients also. Not possible. Every client will have a separate password. Okay. User ID will be there in every client, but password will not be available. Okay. Without password, how will you log in? Okay, let's say I am Indian user. Currently, I log in into 110, which is Indian server. So 110 is my US server. I have my login ID for 110 also, but I don't have password for 110 client. For 110 client, I don't have a password. So how will I log in at all? I can't log in. So if I can't log in at all, then how can I see their data? Not possible. Okay, that is the use of client. So it is used to restrict the users from accessing other clients' data. Okay, that is a client. See, every client will have a different user ID and password. Done. Then these are just some keywords of ABAP, like just an introduction to how ABAP, keywords look like. So first of all, select command select. So I told you, right, ABAP is nothing but plain, pure, basic English. So this is a little example of that. Okay. So suppose if you want to pull the data from a database, extract the data from database, the command that you write is select. Select means what? Definition of select in English is get. Get. So you'll get the data by using select. Update. Definition of update means change. Correct? Update means change. So update is used to change the data in database table. Then insert. Insert means to add. So inserting means to add any new entry to database table. Then then modify. So modify acts as dynamic. It is both update and insert. Okay, modify is both update and insert at the same time. First it will try to update the values. If update is not possible, then it will try to insert the values. Okay, it will act as both update and insert. Modify. Finally, delete. Delete means removing. So it is used to delete the data in database tables. So these are just some basic data uh, extraction, data manipulation keywords in ABAP. Okay, any doubt till this point, anyone? see the chat. Okay, I'll take it as no. Okay, now what is a table? What is a database? I've been telling you that a database table and all. Now what exactly is a database table and what exactly is a database? Okay, so database means it is a place which is used to store your information of an organization. Simple. Okay, used to store the information of an organization. Now why is it called a database? Table means the data is stored in a tabular format. Okay, in a tabular format in the table in the database. That is the reason it is called a database table. Tabular format means a table. See, this is a table now. This is a table. So in database your data will be stored in this format only, in this table format. That is the reason it is called database table. Simple. So table is an object or an element that is used to store the data in database in tabular format. That's it. Then database is a storage unit which is used to store the organization data. Simple. Okay, then ABAP workbench objects. So from here we will start with our ABAP core concepts of ABAP, introduction to ABAP. Okay, so first of all, what is a workbench object? What is ABAP workbench object? Okay, see, in SAP we have two types of objects: workbench object, customizing object. Workbench, customizing. Workbench objects are always created by ABAP team. Okay, we have different workbench objects, so like program, table, form, etc, etc. They are all called, in general they are called as workbench object. Customizing object means system configurations. Okay, system configurations. So these configurations are done by your functional consultants. Okay, that is called customizing object. Customizing means configurations. Workbench means development. Okay, consider it this way: workbench means development, customizing means configuration. So all the workbench objects in SAP are created by ABAP team. All the customizing objects configurations are done by your functional team. ABAP team will never do configurations, functional team will never do development. Okay, both have separate responsibilities. Done. Then landscapes in SAP. Okay, see, no matter which project you get into, implementation, support, hybrid, rollout, upgrade, whatever the project it is, or whatever region it is, India, US, UK, Australia, Dubai, wherever it is, every project will have a minimum of 3 landscapes. Minimum 3. Few projects could have more. I'll tell you about more also. But every project will have minimum 3 systems, 3 landscapes. First is development, second is quality, third is production. Okay, minimum 3. So now development system. So development system means, as the name itself says, all the development work, every single development, be it even one small change, if I want to add a dot or remove a dot, anything will come under development. That is done only under development system. So any change to a workbench object should only be performed in development system. Okay, any change to a workbench object can only be performed in a development system. It cannot be performed in other systems. In quality and production system, you cannot perform a change on workbench object. Not at all possible. You will not have authorization, you will not have access to make a change to a workbench object in quality and production system. Done. No matter which project it is, anywhere across the world. Okay, done. Then quality system. So whenever I am doing any development, after the development is complete, there has to be a person who can test it. Correct. So for other softwares we have a separate testing team, but in SAP we will not have any separate testing team. Functional team itself is a testing team here. Okay, so after the development is completed, you have to move the developed object, move the workbench object to quality system. How to move it and all we'll see later. Okay, but after development is complete, we will move the object to quality system. In the quality system, your functional team will first do the testing, whether it is working fine or not. They'll open the requirement file. They'll see what is the requirement. So is your development working as per the client requirement or not? They'll test all the scenarios. If your code fails, if your development is not working, if the object is not working as per the client requirement, they'll revert to you stating that it is not working. You have to modify it. You have to change it some way. It could be anything. I cannot tell you like what is the change you have to do. It's different for every object. After testing, if any bugs comes in your object, you have to fix it and again send it for testing. Okay, this cycle will continue. Testing development will continue till your functional team is satisfied with your development. Done. After functional team testing, once they feel like everything is correct, everything is as per the requirement, they will reach out to the client, to the end user, that development is complete, we have performed the functional testing, it is working fine, please test it from your side. Okay, they'll say this to the client. Then client will come in and they will also test it. Every project will have this. Okay, client will also come in and client will also test it. Now if client also feels like it is okay as per the requirement, then it will be moved to production system. If your client is not happy, again you'll have to do the change. Even though your functional team said it is correct, if the client comes in and if client says it is not correct, then still you have to make a change. End of the day, your client has to approve the change that you did. If your client is not approving, then you have to keep doing it till he approves. Okay, that's what happens in quality system testing. Complete testing will happen only in quality system. Okay, okay. Now let's imagine completed. My testing is completed. My user is fine with the development that I did. So he approved it. He or she approved the workbench object. So it will be moved to production system. So once the object reaches to production system, your job is done. Okay, your job is done. That's it. That's where your cycle ends. Once the object moves to production system, ABAP cycle ends. We are not no more responsible for it. Okay, that's it. Now, what is a production system means? Production system will have live data. Every single business transaction that is happening in a business, that data, that transactional data will be stored in production system. Okay. If I'm selling a product, production will be updated. If someone has returned a product, production will be updated. If I am purchasing something, production will be updated. Any customer has created a new account with my company, production will be updated. For every single business transaction, whatever the transaction it is, be it a financial or a non-financial transaction, every single transaction is updated in production system. Every single one. Okay, we have to make sure that you should not make any change in production system. Any minor change in production system will lead to an audit issue. Any doubt? Someone unmuted. Venkat Reddy, any doubt?
No, 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 sorry.
Okay. Okay. So any small change that you make in a production system will lead to an audit issue. Audit issue means every company will have auditing at the end. Okay, you know what is auditing, right? Taxation related things, accounting, financial accounting, they'll do at the end of the year or at the end of a quarter. Every company does it, auditing. So during the auditing, it will cause a problem. That why did this person log into production system to make this change? They might feel like you made some data manipulation. Okay, you did some illegal activity in production system. They'll feel that. That is the reason we should never do any change in production system directly. No matter what, you should never do it. Okay, as an ABAPer, most of the projects don't even give you login access to production system because We as ABAPers have exceptional roles. We have knowledge to manipulate the data however we want to. Functional team cannot manipulate the data however they want to, because they don't have that knowledge to do it. But as an ABAPer, you have more knowledge to manipulate the data. You can directly change database tables data. You'll have that knowledge. That is the reason people are afraid to give complete access to ABAPers. Okay, but even if you have that sort of knowledge, please don't do any change in production. The server that you're going to get is a test server here, so we'll only have one system in this. Okay, this is a practice system, so this is a development system. We will not have production system because we don't do any financial transactions in this. This is a practice server, no? That's why you will only have one system here. This is development system. Okay, quality and productions are only available in real-time projects, not in test servers. No matter which test server it is never available. It is only available in real-time projects. Okay. Any doubt in landscapes of SAP? See, understanding the landscapes is very, very important. The first thing that you have to do when after getting into a project is log into SAP. So you should understand which is development, which is quality, which is production. What is the purpose of each system? Okay, no doubt. Fine. So moving on. Okay, I said that minimum you will have 3 projects in every project. So there could be some projects who will have some additional systems. So these additional systems could be a sandbox system and a regression system. Okay, sandbox system means before actually making any change in the development system, if you want to practice anything, if you want to test anything from your side, whether it will work or not, in that case you will do all these practice things in sandbox system. Not every project will have it, only few projects will have it. Okay, sandbox system is used to practice, test, basically test your knowledge in that. So if you want to test something just for practicing whether it will work or not, you can do it in sandbox system. Okay, some projects will have it, not all. That is sandbox. Then regression is like a quality system only. Okay, regression is like quality system only, but with more data. See, when they want to test, okay, imagine this scenario that we've just spoken of. You did a development, you moved it to quality, your functional team tested it, your user tested it, then it moved to production. So in this scenario, for your functional team and for user to test, there has to be data available in quality, right? There has to be test data, correct? There has to be some data at least for them to test it. If the data is not available, then what will they test? They can't do the testing. So that is where your regression system will come in. So regression system will be a replica of production system. It is not production system, it is a replica of production system. Means all the data that is there in production system will be there in regression system also. So that your user or your functional team can perform more testing, active testing, real-time testing they can perform. That is the only purpose of regression system. Okay, perform more testing. To perform more testing, they will keep regression system. Again, it is optional. Not every project will have it. Only few projects will have it. Okay, but every project will have development, quality, and production. Okay, done. Then, what are all the categories of workbench objects? Okay, so we have two categories: local object and a transportable object. Local, transportable. Local means, as the name says itself, it is created in development system but cannot be transported to quality and production system. See, normal real-time scenario is you have to create everything in development. At the end, it has to move to production. It has to go through quality, then to production. Every single object in real time project, it has to go. Whereas a local object cannot be moved to quality or production system. It is only created in development system and it stays there. You cannot move it to quality or production, not possible at all. It is only for development. That is local object. Then the only time when you create a local object is when you want to practice anything. Okay, imagine you don't have a sandbox system in your project, but still you want to practice anything. So in that case, you can save it under a local object. No one will question you. No one will ask you, why did you create it? Why did you create that? No one will do it. Your wish. In development system, you can do anything in a local object. Okay. As a local object, you can do anything in development system. No one will question you. Not even users, not even client, not even your leads, your managers. No one will question you. No matter which project it is. Okay. That is local object. Then transportable object. Every single time you will only create transportable object to fulfill the client requirement. If client has come to you with any requirement, then you have to do a transportable object only. Correct? Because if client is requesting something to you, that means they want to use it in where? Production system, correct? And local object cannot be moved to production system. Only transportable object can be moved to production system. So every single time in real time, you only create a transportable object. Local objects are only created when you want to test something, practice something. That's it. Okay. But in real time, you'll only create transportable object, which can be moved from quality to production system, development to quality to production system. Again, from development, you cannot move it to production system directly. Not possible. Okay. From development directly, you can't. It has to go through quality. Okay. The process has to be followed. You cannot skip the process in between. Okay. So any doubt in this? So this is all introduction before we get into creating stuff in SAP. This introduction is very important to us. Without this introduction, you cannot create. If I start creating, then you'll get confused. What am I selecting? What am I doing? And all. And see, selecting a local object versus a transportable object is not a rocket science. Once you hit create in SAP, you will get a pop-up. In the pop-up, it will say transportable or local. You just need to select the option. That's it. Very simple. Okay, no doubt. Okay, we'll move on. Now, the differences between a transportable and a local object. We'll just complete this slide and we'll park it for today. I don't want to overburden you in the initial phase itself. Okay. So, local object versus transportable object. See, every single local object is saved under a temporary package. A temporary package. This temporary package is $TMP. The name of this temporary package is $TMP. TMP means temporary. Okay. Again, you don't need to give this $TMP manually in the system. It is saved in the background. Okay, in the background, it is saved in that package. What is a package? You will understand it in the next slide. Okay, don't worry. Okay. But every single transportable object is saved in a TR. TR also you'll understand in the next slide. Okay. TR means transport request. Okay, transport request. Every transportable object is stored in a transport request. Then the system will not create any TR for any local object. Why? The purpose of a transport request is to migrate your changes, to move the changes from development to quality to production. As a local object, you will never move it to quality or production. Then what is the point of creating a TR? No point. That is why there is no TR for local object. TR means transport request. In project, you will normally call it a TR only. Okay, so as in the introduction I said, we will follow project naming conventions, project naming standards. I will call it a TR from now on. TR means transport request. Okay, transport request. Then for every transportable object, a TR will be created by the system itself. You don't need to create it. Again, you don't need to give a number for a TR. System will automatically create the number. Okay, it is a system generated number. System itself will generate. Don't worry on that. Okay. Then local object means it cannot be moved to quality or production from development. Okay, it can only be created in development and cannot be moved to quality or production. Then transportable object is created in development system and they can be moved to quality or production possible. Then in the local object, normally you will only create it for practice purposes, to practice anything, Okay, just before actually doing the development, if you want to check whether it is working correctly or not, you will do it in local object. Then you will move it to transportable object. Okay, so transportable objects are created to meet the client requirement. So if client is coming to you, not directly to you, the client reaches to functional team reaches out to you. So if you are getting a requirement from the client, then those will be done in transportable object, not local object. Because if you create a local object, user cannot do business transactions in development system. User can only do the business transaction in production system. So for the object to be available in production system, it has to be saved under a transport request, and to save it under a transport request, it should be a transportable object. Okay, any doubt in today's class from the beginning, any on any topic, anyone?
Yeah, Sujit, I have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, for suppose we create the program and we save it as a local object. After the saving that local object, can we change that? Can we able to do a transport for that?
Yes, you can. So once you save it under a local object, it will be saved in the $TMP package. So SAP gives you the option to change the package name to any other package name. So when you change the package name, it will prompt for a transport request. If you give the transport request, then local object will be converted to a transportable object. It is possible. I'll show you
Okay.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else?
Hi, Sujit.
Hi, Roja.
You said no matter what we can't change in production. I
Mhm.
have a doubt like with FID, can we change minor changes like that?
Your voice was muffled in between. I don't hear it properly. Minor change what?
Can we make changes in production with FID?
You're an ABAPer, you're a SAP consultant.
Yes.
Okay. So the thing is, you can make, normally we don't say this in introduction class. The only way you can do a change in production is through a firefighter ID, that is called FFID. Short form of firefighter ID is FFID. But that FFID change is also done by functional team, not by ABAP team. ABAP team never changes any data in production system. Your functional team will use a firefighter ID to make the change in production system. For any configuration changes, functional team uses the firefighter IDs, not ABAP team. ABAP team will also have firefighter IDs, but using firefighter IDs, we will do something else. There are other things that we will do, but we will not make changes to existing data.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll consider it a no. So let's reconvene tomorrow, same time. We can proceed further. Okay, yeah, thanks everyone.